This is Marcus Kowal with Studiomma and MMAnytt, and we're here at Pancras Gym in Stockholm, ready for the Globen event, first time in Sweden, with Francis Carmont. How are you feeling?
I'm very good. I make a hard training for this fight, and I'm ready for fight on Saturday night.
Now, this is your second fight in the UFC, correct?
Yes.
And you are welcoming someone else into the UFC for the first time, Swedens own Magnus Cedenblad. Now, first of all, you've been there once. What is it like to step into the octagon, to the UFC for the very first time? Is it different than any other organization?
Yes, it's very different. UFC is the biggest one organization in the world. All the best fighters fight in the UFC, and for me, it's a dream to fight with the UFC. And now I make my second fight to the UFC. It's very incredible.
And you have some decent support here. Czech Congo is here from France as well, obviously, to watch you. And in your corner on Saturday, you have George St. Pierre. Ultimately, you will be inside the cage yourself, but does it feel good to have someone like Czech Congo to come out, GSP, to be here for you?
Yeah, it's sure to have people you know their face in your corner. George is the welterweight champion of the UFC, and you know a lot of things for tell me what I can do in the cage. And for me, it's a big advantage. And Czech Congo, Cyril Diabate is here. I like this guy, and it's good for me.
Now, on Saturday night is an historic moment in Sweden where the UFC will be hosting the event for the first time ever. Most of the fans are going to be Swedish, obviously. Your job is to make the fans as quiet as possible. Does it make a difference to you?
No, it's not different. I don't have pressure for this fight. I know Magnus fighting this home, but I make my training on. I know I going to make my job on. Come back to the victory to Montreal.
Now, Magnus is a tall guy, and he's fought on a lot of local shows in Stockholm. What else do you know about him? How much have you done research on his fights and his style of fighting?
I see 2 or 3 fights of him in the internet, and it's a good guy. He's a tough guy. He have a good striking, a good grappling, and I know there will be a hard fight, but I like this. It's my job to. It's better to have a good fighter to make a good fight for all, for me, for him, for the UFC. I like this.
Now, it's the first time in Sweden, and Sweden obviously it's been hyped up a lot here. It still hasn't been legalized in France. What does it take to get it to France, and how excited would you be to get to fight in your home country one day?
Yeah, the UFC make a lot of job for bringing the UFC in Paris. I'm sure in maybe 1 year they're going to be in Paris, and you can see the UFC with the baguette Francaise, with the bread French. And
there's obviously 3 of you right now in the UFC, correct? It's yourself, you got Czech Congo, Cyril Diabate is also fighting on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Are there other French MMA fighters? I know you guys got very good Thai boxing, Muay Thai boxing as well. Are there any other upcoming names you say, wow, this is going to be a future UFC fighter in France at the moment?
Yes, I have a good new fighter come from France, and I'm sure they're going to be in the UFC and to make a good fight. Because in the past, the MMA don't be recognizing in the France, and it's very hard to have a good training in the wrestling. And they have a good striker and good judo, but all is so different. They don't have a structure for make a good training. But now they change a lot of. I'm sure that a lot of fighters come from France going to be a good fighter in the UFC. Maybe one day take one bet on the division.
Now, Cyril Diabate is also fighting on Saturday. Do you guys train together? Do you know each other?
Yes, I trained in the past with him, where I have a BTT France on the next team. It's a good guy. I believe they're going to win this fight.
Now, Cyril Diabate previously fought Alex Gustafsson, who's the main event on Saturday night. Obviously, the face of Swedish mixed martial arts, and he's got a big responsibility on Saturday night. Now, have you spoken to Cyril about Alexander Gustafsson and his opinion on him?
Yes, I talked to Cyril and I see Gustafsson because when I go to train with Victor Belfort in Las Vegas in December, I see him 1 day or 2 days on Gustafsson. And he's a very hard guy, and I'm sure one day going to take the bet of the UFC.
You believe he can beat John Jones?
Maybe not now, but in the future, it's sure. He has the possibility. He's a tough guy. He trains hard. On you see in his eyes, he angry. And I'm sure one day going to take a belt.
Did you get a chance to train or spar with Alexander yourself?
I trained with him at Las Vegas one time.
Did you do sparring as well?
Sparring. Well, he's very good.
Yeah, you spar with him?
Yeah, 1-1 or 2-1. He's very hard.
Any predictions were against Thiago Silva?
For me, it will be a hard fight, but I say Gustafsson going to win this fight by TKO.
You heard this from Francis Carmont here at Pancras Gym in Stockholm. Looking forward to see you on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Thanks, it's a pleasure. Merci.